I met a client off a Zillow call. Okay. I went through the showing. I was like, okay, this is it. We were leaving, and I said, hey, if you guys don't mind asking, are you going to be getting a loan for this? Should I call your lender? Right? It's a natural question.
Right.
He looked at me, looked at his wife, and they kind of giggled. And I was like, okay, I mean, just you can call me later and let me know. He's like, no, George, we're going to be buying it cash. They're in the cannabis world, and this guy and his family, that's probably one of the unique experiences I've ever had, and it's been fruitful. I've sold him 5 places.
It's a pretty lucrative field that he's in, apparently.
Yes, he's doing well, and the family is very successful, but they don't come off like
pieces and shares of all big sky high. Check the movement is here. Yeah. It's one heart, one shot. Now the future is yours. Go.
Hi, welcome back to the Compass Studio. Today I have George Bukes. What a great person to have in here and interview. George, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Yeah.
You know, we were just talking about this off camera, but tell us where you grew up.
Grew up, born and raised in Hawaii, the island of Oahu, and came here about 12 years ago now for San Diego State.
Really? So you came out here to go to college?
Yeah, parents allowed me to come out here because they thought I was going to come back. But now, 13 years later, they were just leaving. They just visited, and they're like, did we make the right decision sending them to San Diego State? But yeah, I came out here for them, went to business school, and it's no looking back.
So most people are trying to get to Hawaii. Are you
Good
not?
point.
Do you miss it, or you're nope? I'm good here.
You know, Hawaii is a beautiful place. It's a place that most people will call something that they might go to retire. When you're born and raised there, you kind of take it for granted. And I do miss certain things like the beaches, the people, the friendly aloha. But San Diego has so much to offer. It's like a slice of Hawaii, but so much more to do. So to answer your question, no. I don't think I'm going to go back.
Give San Diego a plug. What's something San Diego has over Hawaii?
Well, I mean, you already have the weather. The weather is beautiful. But if you really wanted to drive to Big Bear, if you wanted to drive to Vegas, if you wanted to get out,
right,
you could do it. In Hawaii, you ain't going very far.
You'd be in the ocean pretty quick.
You're going to drive around and you're going to still be at the beach.
Okay, good. Yay, San Diego.
Yes.
So you graduated San Diego State.
Yep.
Did you go into any other line of work? Did you have a job before this, before real estate?
Yes, I would like to say that I just went straight into real estate, knew exactly what I was doing, had everything in line, but no, I had no idea what I was doing after college. My family actually ran a real estate, commercial real estate company in Hawaii, so I had that in the back of my head. It sounded interesting, but when you're a kid getting out of college, you're kind of like a rebel. So I was like, no, I'm not going to go do real estate. I'm going to make it on my own. I'm going to be a manager of a CEO of a company. And the first job I got was a retail job, and I was an Abercrombie and Fitch manager.
Really?
Believe it or not.
Your fashion sense.
Yes. I don't know if they taught me a few things, and then worked in the mall. And from there, I became a district manager at Jamba Juice, making some smoothies.
So you were moving up in the corporate world.
Yeah, Jamba Juice came over to our store. I met some people, and even though it sounds crazy, like I wanted to get up the ladder, and however way I could do it, moving from a retail store to something like that, managing a district, that's what I saw being my future. Yeah.
What transitioned? What happened to get you into real estate?
That's a perfect question, and this is something that I tell my wife. Laughs all the time because if it wasn't for this one instance in my life, I don't think I would be here.
Wow.
Even though my family was in real estate, I was going down a different path, and I was doing really well. I was succeeding in the ranks of the corporate side, even though it was a smaller company, a private company. But I got $1.26 raise, and when I saw my paycheck go up pretty much nothing after working my tail off, driving around town, not having time to go see my family during the holidays because my family was back in Hawaii.
Right.
The lifestyle and the pay just didn't match up. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? So after reflecting on that, talked to my dad, said, you know what, I'm just going to go get my real estate license. Got my real estate license. Within first 3 weeks, I got my first deal and did not look back. So that was the big pivotal point when I worked my tail off and really didn't get much for it.
And realized I need to work for myself.
Yep. Be in business for
you know, I was going to say, to the audience, it doesn't usually work that way the first 3 weeks, but it depends on how hard you're willing to work, isn't it?
You put in the time, you put in the effort. This business is so fruitful when you actually put in the time. Yeah.
Fruitful, says the Jamba Juice guy.
Yeah. Hey.
So, what do you think is the best part about being a real estate agent?
Oh, well, I mean, like I told you, my family's in commercial real estate. So I thought I could go that route, but I realized how transactional that was. And I saw myself, I love being with people. I love being around people, meeting new people. Like, I didn't want to just be behind a desk or spitting out numbers. So being a real estate agent, I mean, I get to leave the office, go meet someone new every day. I can go knock on a door and have an excuse to talk to someone. So just being able to meet so many different walks of life, and my experience over the last 8.5 years, just meeting so many new people, is not many jobs you can have that kind of connection on a huge level of someone's biggest chapter in their life.
Right, you're impacting them at that level.
Yeah.
I heard you described once as if someone were going to create the ideal real estate agent, it would be you.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's crazy that a couple people said that. It makes me flattered for sure.
So what's the insight? What do you not like? What is it about real estate where, I'm not the perfect one because...
If I'm not yet, I honestly feel like I'm too hard on myself and I overwork myself. When you're in business for yourself, you don't clock in and clock out. No one's going to tell you, and I'm pretty driven, which is good on a certain aspect, but you get burnt out. So I think one of the hardest things for me is overworking myself. And someone says they want to be me, do this, that, or I'm the perfect mold. It ain't all perfect sometimes. That's for sure.
All right. So, and that's particular to you in many ways.
Yeah.
If someone were starting out in real estate and you were going to give them some advice, something you wish you'd known years ago, what would that be?
Never say, I can't do this or I don't know. I know that sounds cliche, but like in your early career, no matter what job or you're doing, when you're creating your own pipeline, your own business, and your own success, oftentimes people want to know everything before diving in, right?
Right.
You read a book, you go to a seminar, you sign up for this, you listen to Joe Rogan, you go to Vegas to go to a conference, and you don't do it. You just got to get in and do it. And so many agents, and again, this is a little specific to me, but I do think most agents can reflect on this and say the same. I'm someone that early on in my career, I'm so happy that I said yes to so many things I didn't really understand and learn as I went.
And learned it as you went. I heard it described once as similar to trying to learn how to ride a bicycle by reading a book. Unless you get out and do it,
You're not going to know. Yeah.
you're not going to know.
Yeah.
So, and now you've got your degree, you moved up well in the corporate world, you do very well in real estate. I mean, I don't know how people know, and I'm not going to talk about your numbers, that's private to you, but you're an extremely successful agent.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
And you have a family.
Yep.
Loaded question. What are you most proud of?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, it's going to sound cliche. Like, real estate career is amazing. I mean, I'm so blessed to be where I am right now. Like, would not even fathom creating the relationships and the success in real estate, but nothing comes close to having a family that you like just love, and the excitement of going home. And my little guy, he's 2 years old, and being able to just see him say, "Dada, I missed you." Like, I'm proud that I'm raising a son or a child that has a warm heart.
Yeah, I get that completely. And by the way, your family's probably going to see this, so good answer.
I hope so. You're
What
welcome,
is
babe.
what's the craziest thing you've seen in real estate? A showing, a listing, an appointment. What's the funniest, craziest?
It's there's a lot of fun experiences, and I've met so many different clients, from someone that's retiring that is trying to find somebody that they're settling down. Another one where sometimes people pass away and they're downsizing, right? But I'd say the craziest, and there's some things I can share about this and some things I can't. A lot of it's confidential. But the craziest,
These are the best stories.
I gotta like watch out what I say here. But I met a client off a Zillow call. Okay, he wanted to see a $1.5 million home, and that's not the point of the story. Was like, wow, this guy called from Zillow. I'm gonna create something out of this. But after I met with him, I was like, okay, you and your wife are pretty young. how are you doing this? Like, like you always wonder, what do they do?
Right.
You ever walk down and through like Target or whatever, or even La Jolla, someone's shopping for a Lamborghini and you're like, what does that person do?
How are you getting to
Yeah.
this place?
So I went through the showing. I was like, okay, this is a multi-million-dollar home. And at the end of the day, I need to figure out what they're going to do. How are they going to be pre-approved? We didn't talk about it. It was an awkward, when you get someone from online. We were leaving and I said, hey, if you guys don't mind asking, are you going to be getting a loan for this? Should I call your lender? Right? That's a natural question.
Right.
He looked at me, looked at his wife, and they kind of giggled. And I was like, okay, I mean, just you can call me later and let me know. He's like, no, George, we're going to be buying it cash. You should have seen my face at the time.
Sure.
I felt like out of left field. So as the story carries on, they're in the cannabis world, and this guy and his family have been such a fun experience for me. It's, you just meet someone, you don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
And that's probably one of the unique experiences I've ever had, and it's been fruitful. I've sold them 5 places.
It's a pretty lucrative field that he's in, apparently.
Yes, he's doing well, and the family is very successful, but they don't come off like it. It's a good business
Wow.
they got.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, you work really hard, but if you lined up 5 of your friends, and I asked them, hey, what do you think George does for a living? I mean, tell me what do you think he does all day? What would they say?
I would like to say a lot of my friends kind of know that I have a family. I'm really busy with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super busy in my job. So they know, even like golfing on the weekend, they know, hey, George probably is not going to be around. He's going to be working, So they respect me for that matter. And I feel like most people know that I can have fun, but I'm also serious and I want to make it a business relationship. But a lot of my friends, they're very proud to. It sounds like when I'm talking to them, they're proud that I've had success this early on. So I don't know if that helps answer your
That's
question.
a good group of friends, yeah.
Yeah, it's surround myself with good people.
It doesn't surprise me. Basically, you take what you do very seriously.
Yeah, yep. I love what I do.
We see that a lot in your clients and the success you've had. I think they get that sense. People know in the end, this is a huge transaction. They got to trust the guy. They got to know that the
Yep.
man or woman handling it, and they get that from you. You take it very serious.
Yeah, the biggest word you said in all of that is trust. Whether someone's in their mid-20s, late 50s, how are you going to trust this person with your money in a big decision? Like, I just got a review from a client, and this is the stuff that like warms my heart. It makes me want to go out there, get in my car, drive, help people, whether it's a buyer or a seller. His review was long and lengthy, telling me how great I was. But in there, the small piece that I took away from it was they were so happy that I treated their money and their time like it was my own. That was like, that is the epitome of like how I want my clients to know I'm going to be working for them.
That's the ultimate compliment
Yeah.
you could get.
Yeah.
You treated their time and their money as if it were your own.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
Yep.
You chose Compass. You came over here, you and your partner, big team,
Yep.
What made you choose Compass?
It's a good question. I didn't know anything about Compass until Jason Cassidy came at me and said, hey, you should be looking at this new upcoming thing here. And ultimately, I was very comfortable in what I was doing. I'm someone that's kind of loyal to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not
if
surprising.
if it ain't broke, don't try and go out and reinvent it and fix it, So I was surprised that I jumped in the way I did. But why Compass? It was just the right place, right time. We were managing a different firm, and it started to get a little busy, and I saw myself getting away from the day-to-day operation with getting out and helping clients.
Right.
So I was shifting more to the heavy side of management. And it's not that that wasn't good, but I enjoy being out in the field more. So it was just right place, right time, and Compass allowed me to bring what we needed over and gave us something that we saw a vision for the future.
You were able to fit your vision in the. So
Exactly. They molded it. Yeah.
They molded it.
Yeah.
How is it now? You're here. Do you have regrets? Has it lived up to what you expected?
You know what? I'm someone that's as real as they. So there's gonna be things that people like and hate about me, and there is so many things that I could list that are amazing, And there's also some things that I was like, okay, well, I didn't know this. You don't know what you don't know. The only thing that I could say, it's not even a regret. The only thing at first, I just wasn't ready for the corporate side of things.
Right.
So it actually has helped me in the corporate. You get, there's pros and cons. At first, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't sign my own checks anymore. Someone else signs my check, where I was doing that in the beginning. So there was things that I had to get used to. But now when I'm talking to clients, they know Compass. They didn't know my previous company. So you can't have your cake and eat it too.
It's a trade-off.
Yeah. So I was realizing that, okay, in order to get this and have the recognition, George Bukes is great, but on a grand scale, Compass brings me what I need in that aspect.
So I'm going to assume, just for a shameless plug, that the list of the good things far outweighs the things that were surprising.
I would not have re-signed if not. It has been a great 3 years and hoping there's many more.
Awesome. So tell me, is there an agent that you really look up to?
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. I did a transaction with, there's a lot of great agents. And like, I guess you're trying to see, even though they're great, they might not be what you envision yourself, right? I think there's a guy that's up in North County. He actually just joined Compass. Marquez, yep. Marquez. And he did a transaction with me a couple years ago, and he's in a higher luxury bracket. I'm more of a volume base. I've been dealing with people in just a high turnover rate. And we have different business plans, but the way he carries himself, the way he approaches things, he works really hard, which is, again, I model myself after people. You can go to the beach, you can go to the zoo, you can go do whatever you want, but are you going to grind and do your business? And he's someone that I think I could see myself modeling things after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mark Marquez. If you're watching.
You've done well.
Right. He is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you like about him the very things that matter. His work ethic.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So one of my favorite questions, what's the public perception of real estate or real estate agents that you know to be false?
Yeah, it's kind of like a dog-eat-dog world, right? So a lot of people, when they get into searching for a home, they don't want to contact an agent because they feel like they're going to be bombarded with questions or, hey, let's go see a house. Hey, let's go see a house. Hey, when do you want to buy a place? Like that, I've noticed so many real estate agents create that feeling of a buyer or a seller that feels this anxiety of time. Do I need to make this decision not on my own time because someone else is pressuring
They're
me?
pushing. Yeah.
So I think there's a misconception because there's a lot of agents that don't do that. And I feel like once I realized for myself, you need to put the client in the driver's seat. It's their money. And you give them that, but of course, you have to steer them in the right direction. But real estate, there's so many people out there that are a little bit too pushy. And I think that's given them the name of real estate a little bit of that kind of demeanor there.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the best reputation.
Sometimes, yeah.
But we meet again. So you took the consultative approach.
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
the expert. I'm here to advise you and help you not to drive the bus.
Yeah, and even if people don't think they know what they want, you can't treat, their decision like it doesn't mean anything. Like I'm the professional here. It's not, they're still spending their money. So you need to put them in that position where they're going to feel comfortable. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so speaking of driving, you can put up a billboard, on Interstate 8.
Okay.
It can say anything you want it to say. What would your billboard say?
Wow, I wasn't prepared for this one. Driving down Interstate 8 billboard. George Bukes, family real estate agent, here to bring you into a new chapter of you and your family's life. Something along those lines in the sense of not really marketing, oh, we'll do it for this percent or this or that. Not the sales tactic, more so family oriented. I think that's kind of where I got in my career, trying to figure out what that billboard would say to know that I want to touch those people they don't have to be a family. I've helped many people that are husband and wife looking to start a family or just an aspect of basically a relationship built. I want that billboard to show that who I am because I like working with people that are going to be similar to me. So,
Right.
Yeah, I would say the billboard says something along those lines. We're a family agent here to help you treat your money like it's his. I don't know, something like that.
You kind of nailed it. Here's what's important to me, family. Here's
Yeah.
what I do. And now let me help you and your family.
Yeah, because I've noticed that, like you said, you don't really have to talk about success all the time. Success comes when it's under the radar. It's like the best. It's when people look you up and they say, "Wow, George, I was interviewing 3 people, and you were the highest producer, but you didn't talk about it at all
Right,
in our
didn't
interview."
even know.
Yeah, like that's the best feeling where you feel so confident. So I don't need the billboard to say, "Here's my numbers," you know.
Right.
But what is the message to get across for who I want to deal with? That would be kind of like the sales tactic.
I love that. This is what I believe in. If you like that,
Yeah, we're
then
gonna
we
align
should talk.
perfectly.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So one of my favorite questions: you can have dinner
Okay.
with any 3 people, living or dead.
Wow.
Who would be at that dinner?
Wow. I like that. I'm named after my grandfather. I'm not gonna cry here because this would be weird, but I miss his name is George. I miss him a lot. He was a man. His heart was like gold. So I'd like to sit back down, have dinner with grandfather. Him, very special. That'd be awesome. Another real estate agent that he's on one of those shows, the $1 Million Listing guy, Ryan Serhant. I think it'd be really interesting to pick his brain. He's a guy, family guy as well, that I think would model something similar to what I do. So picking his brain would be amazing. And the last guy, I have the same birthday as him. It's a billionaire that you don't ever really get to sit in a room with a billionaire. Mark Cuban is a guy. We both have the same birthday, July 31st. We're both Leos on the Shark Tank. I love that show. So my grandfather, Ryan Serhant, because he's in the business, and then Mark Cuban, because what hasn't that guy done?
Right. Wouldn't you love to hear his thoughts?
Man.
Do they in Hawaii? Is there a special name or term for your grandfather?
Papu.
Papu?
Yeah.
I could imagine him and you. He would be with you picking their brains.
Yeah, he's I mean, he was. I have to say he was. I'm so talkative. I'm so energetic, and so, he's a man of few words. But he like when he said something, you listened. You know,
Right.
and he was a guy that just. I mean, he broke his back when he was and this was when they didn't have surgery stuff around, and this was in 1945, 1950. He healed himself in bed. He basically stayed in bed for a month or so. He was in the military and healed himself from falling out of a high tree and recovered from that without having to go through surgery, medical stuff. Like the guy was just
Wow.
a beast. And again, talked less than I did, but he was such a interesting guy. So yeah, it'd be great to be back.
That'd be a hell of a dinner.
Yeah.
All right, one of the favorite things that I talk about in coaching is that the most important words in the world are any words that follow I am. So I want you to complete that sentence. I am.
I am someone that loves to see success and fruit from his hard work and be acknowledged for things that I've done, but someone that enjoys nothing more than a simple family outing. Yeah.
It's family, comes back to family.
Yep.
Okay, I always end this with the same 10 questions.
Okay.
Kind of ripped them off from inside the actor's studio, but
Okay.
I love that show.
Yep.
All right, so here we go. What is your favorite word?
Favorite word? I don't know. Competition. Competition's my. I just love it. Fuels me. Someone that is ahead of me. I want to be able to compete.
Is anyone surprised by that? What is your least favorite word?
Failure. Failure for sure. I don't want to fail.
What sound or noise do you love?
This is an interesting one. The popcorn. I love popcorn. The noise of popcorn. I eat popcorn 5-6 nights a week, so it's a good sound. It's true.
I love it.
Now you know some weird things about me.
That will be the only person I interview who says popcorn.
That's great. Hey,
Straight up great answer.
it's perfect.
All right, what sound or noise do you hate?
When my wife is filing her nails with that filer, that's one that it really gives me a wrench in the back.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
I mean, there's a lot of fun superpowers. Oh man, I just think it's kind of like cheating the system, but looking into the future would be amazing to try to. It's like a blessing and a curse because you'd kind of mold your life and then you'd maybe lose out on a couple things, but knowing the future for a lot of different reasons would be fun.
It would help with the competition.
Yes, it would. Maybe that's subconsciously why I said that. I don't know. I mean, that would make sense.
All right. How do you cure a hangover?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've put myself in that position. But previously, I would say a nice, big, tasty burrito would be perfect. Yeah.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Yeah, I really enjoy helping families financially as well. Even though we're in real estate and I get to help someone pick their home that they're going to live in, I also want it to be a smart financial decision. So if I had to do something else that could yield me in the same space and same success rate and things like that, I would say a financial advisor, just because, again, you're treating someone's wealth, someone's money, and trying to better them. Yeah.
Okay. What profession would you not like to do?
Oh man, my wife works at a law firm, and she's basically an administrator and a paralegal there that just works in the administrative office, and the amount of like clerical paperwork, I'm just not good at that stuff. That's why we have assistants and things like that. I know my faults. I don't read as many emails as I should. So I would say being an office clerk, just because I know I wouldn't be good at it.
Okay. Where is your favorite spot in San Diego?
Me and my wife, one of our favorite restaurants, and that's kind of like the area that we also like as well, right by the harbor, Island Prime, and those popovers. That's a favorite restaurant / spot, but right around the harbor there, Portside Pier, and just being able to see the bridge and see the airport, it's pretty cool spot.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Wow. Well, I hope heaven does exist. And just like my grandfather and my father, like I treat that as God being a figure of like that in my life. And if I hopefully get there one day, I would say something along the lines of, we're really proud of what you've done on this earth and what you've contributed to so many families and people. Again, it goes back to families, but just the word proud is something that means so much to me. I want my son to be proud of me. I want to be proud of him. And I just want that in my afterlife. Yeah.
Have your grandfather standing there telling you, proud of you?
I hope so.
Awesome. You can see why he's put out by people as the ideal agent.
It means a lot. Yeah. Success and so many other reasons to be driven. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Bukes.
Working on the plot and the scheme. The true style trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking one shot for the kill. The breeze cut, freeze up, straight dropping the chills. I'm talking taking over pieces and shares of all.